My online girlfriend turned out to be my stepsister, Betsy. Before she realized it was me, I quickly pulled out my phone and broke up with her. Driving too fast on the highway, crashed into a plane. Only half a breath left, will love you forever. Later, she printed out all our chat records and covered the entire room with them. She hugged his head and cried, baby's last breath was saying he loved me. How can I go on living alone? My jaw dropped. Holy crap, Betsy, you can't die. The atmosphere at home has been heavy lately because Betsy is heartbroken and wants to become a nun. My parents have been taking turns watching her, making sure she has bodyguards when she goes out. Even the security guard's dog in our neighborhood knows that Betsy wants to renounce the world. I'm speechless. It all started half a month ago. I got up early that morning to style my hair, put on my favorite overalls, and grabbed my basketball, ready to meet my online girlfriend of 2.5 years. On my way downstairs, I ran into Betsy, my stepsister. My mom and her dad are a remarried couple, together for over a year. Our usual mode of interaction is polite and distant. Good morning, Betsy. Good morning, woo. Are you going out, Betsy? Are you going out too, woo? Yes, that's how fake and emotionless our relationship is. In my impression, Betsy is serious and unsmiling, a calm and indifferent heir to the Lou group. So I never imagined that the clingy, love-struck baby I've been chatting with online would be Betsy. I must have eaten a lion's heart to have the guts to meet her. Before I left, I saw her simple white dress and felt a little puzzled. She usually wears a suit jacket, very much the image of an elite professional. When I arrived at the agreed-upon location, the truth almost made me cry. My online girlfriend said she had arrived, wearing a white dress. I hid in the distance, feeling guilty, and saw that familiar outfit. I thought, it's over, this time it's really over. My online girlfriend said she had booked the entire venue for our meeting. Besides me, there was only one other person there. Without a doubt, I knew it was Betsy. I don't know what I was thinking at the time, but I didn't dare to show my face. Using my online persona's phone number, I tearfully typed the last message, driving too fast on the highway, crashed into a plane. Only half a breath left, will love you forever. Then I broke the SIM card and threw it away. Betsy was heartbroken when she learned the tragic news. She didn't eat or drink for 2.5 days. I was in pain too. Although it started as a prank, I gradually developed real feelings. To be honest, I was still very reluctant. I was heartbroken and ate 3 big bowls of rice in one go. My mom didn't know the details, she just thought I was a glutton. All you know is to eat. Your sister hasn't eaten a bite in 3 days, and you ate 3 days worth of food in one meal. Everyone grieves in their own way. Some people relieve their sadness by staying up all night, while I use food and drink to forget my pain. My mom said, you young people are better at talking. Go upstairs and comfort your sister later. Don't let her feel down about a relationship. I always felt that my mom's words didn't fit Betsy's image as a business elite. How could a strong woman like her be so hung up on love? Betsy's dad sighed. I used to worry that Betsy wouldn't find a boyfriend. I didn't expect her to secretly find one without telling us. It's not easy for our Lou family to finally have a son-in-law, but this happened. To be separated from a loved one by death, I've experienced this kind of pain. It's too painful. Betsy's mother passed away when she was young, and her dad remained single for 20 years before finding my mom, a twilight love. I foolishly suggested, why don't we try setting her up on a blind date? Out with the old, in with the new. Betsy's dad shook his head. Betsy is very sentimental. When she was a child, she accidentally killed a goldfish and hasn't touched a fish since. Not to mention that this is a living person who's gone now. It's going to be difficult for her to get over this. I suddenly felt a pang of guilt. But what's said is said. The deceased has passed, and the living must go on. Oh, I'm sorry, King of Hell. I definitely didn't mean to joke about my own life. I'm sorry. I'll burn some offerings for myself later. My mom heard me mumbling to myself and gave me a strange look. Are you full from eating? Seeing mushrooms now. I came back to my senses and shook my head guiltily. I'm done eating. I'll go give Betsy some chicken soup. I sighed. Am I not pitiful? I have to bear the pain of this truth alone. Betsy's room is on the 2nd floor. The door was not tightly closed. I vaguely heard a sound. I wanted to knock politely, but at this moment, gossip and curiosity took over. I held the chicken soup and quietly opened a crack in the door. I couldn't believe my eyes. Betsy's room was covered with photos. I took a closer look and saw that they were all our chat records from the past 2 years. I've seen people keep mementos, but I've never seen anyone do it like this. Betsy sat on the floor with her back to the door, holding a screenshot of our chat. I carefully poked my head in and found that it was the last message I sent, the one about the car crash and loving her forever. Betsy looked at the photo and tears slowly fell from her beautiful eyes. She hugged her head and cried. Baby's last breath was saying he loved me. How can I go on living alone? My jaw dropped. Betsy, please don't do anything rash. Why did my conscience hurt even more? The first time I met Betsy was at my mom and her dad's wedding banquet. Betsy was a celestial being, admired by all. She was calm and composed, handling everything with ease. She was polite and thoughtful to my mom and me. My mom and I are from an ordinary, well-off family. My mom owns a dessert shop and met Betsy's dad, who loves sweets. One thing led to another, and the 2 single parents fell in love. Her dad liked my mom's simplicity and straightforwardness, and my mom liked his sincerity and wealth. So, after calmly considering and obtaining the approval of their children, they decided to remarry. Our family family's gap with the Liu family was huge, and it was considered a climb up the social ladder. Moreover, Betsy was usually very busy and rarely saw my mom. I was afraid that she would give my mom a hard time after they got married. Until the day of the wedding, I overheard some people gossiping behind our backs, saying things like, from rags to riches, and gold diggers. I have a bit of a temper and couldn't stand it for a second. Just as I was about to confront them, Betsy walked over. She had a cold and frosty look, and her voice was calm and indifferent. Everyone, please be careful with your words. Mrs. Chen and Wu are now members of our Liu family. Please don't make malicious speculations. As guests, you are naturally welcome. But if you can't learn to keep your mouths shut and continue to speak ill of others, I won't hesitate to ask you to leave. She carried herself with an air of authority, and those gossiping women didn't dare to challenge her. They all slunk away after being scolded. Betsy was also very gracious and apologized to me. I knew deep down that this had nothing to do with her, so my first impression of her was quite good. Later, when my mom and I moved into the Liu family home, I would occasionally run into Betsy. Until today, my impression of her remained superficial, well-mannered, upright, and emotionally stable. I knew that this incident would be a big blow to my online girlfriend, but I didn't expect it to have such a big impact on the always calm and composed Betsy. I closed the door with trembling hands, feeling guilty. I nervously drank the bowl of nourishing chicken soup that my mom had specially left for Betsy to calm my nerves. Just as I reached the stairs, my mom appeared out of nowhere. Seeing the empty bowl, she asked, "How is she? Did she drink the chicken soup?" I stammered, My mom mercilessly exposed me. "Do you think I'm blind? Your mouth is so oily. Where did you take the chicken soup? You drank it yourself, didn't you? Stop it. Stop it. You'll make me stupid if you keep scolding me." My mom was worried and wanted to check on Betsy. I grabbed her. "Don't go. Don't go. Let her be alone and recover slowly." My mom said to cook Betsy a bowl of noodles since I gave her chicken soup to the dog. I rushed to the kitchen. "I'll do it. I'll do it." My mom was still worried and looked back 3 times as she left. "Don't steal any more food. It's not like we don't have enough for you." At 10 p.m., Betsy came downstairs for water. I stopped her with a bowl of almost soggy egg noodles. "Hi, Betsy, would you like some noodles?" She glanced at the bowl, and I quickly said, "I've been waiting here for you. I know you don't have much appetite, but you have to eat. You must be starving." I managed to persuade her to the dining table by appealing to her sense of obligation to my hard work. She had become visibly thinner in the past few days. I sat opposite her and couldn't help but steal a glance, and then another. Betsy held her chopsticks but didn't move. Her eyes were red-rimmed as she stared at the bowl of noodles. Suddenly, large tears fell from her eyes without warning, splashing into the bowl. I was startled. She had been trying to stay strong in front of us, but now she was breaking down in tears in front of me, her emotionally distant stepbrother. "Don't cry, don't cry. Are you not feeling well? Are the noodles too soggy and cold? Do you want me to cook you another bowl?" I quickly removed the bowl of noodles that seemed to have caused her distress. Just as I took a few steps, I heard her choked whisper behind me. "He said that after we met, he would cook noodles for me." My heart skipped a beat, and I almost dropped the bowl. I went back to the kitchen in a daze. As I was about to cook another bowl with trembling hands, Betsy appeared at the kitchen door. She wiped her tears and said in a hoarse voice, "Sorry about that. No need to cook anymore. I'm not hungry. You don't have to worry about me." Not worrying was absolutely impossible. Half a month passed, and Betsy's condition worsened. She even considered becoming a nun. During this time, my mom and her dad took turns watching her, making sure she had bodyguards when she went out, and even had employees watch over her at the company. Late at night, I tossed and turned, unable to sleep. I called my best friend, Alex. "Alex, it's me, Wu. Are you asleep? Wu, what's wrong? You better have a good reason for calling at this hour." I looked at the bright moon outside the window and sighed deeply. "I think I'm really going to die." My best friend sat up abruptly in shock. "You think so too?" At 2 a.m., I sneaked out of the house and went to the first bar on Love Kuan Street. My best friend, Alex, had been waiting for a long time and looked at me with concern. "What's going on? Isn't your sister, Betsy, suicidal because of her boyfriend's death? Why are you acting like you're going to die too in the middle of the night? Why don't you introduce your sister to me? Betsy is beautiful and rich. She's my dream girl. With our friendship, we should keep it in the family. I can definitely save your sister." "No, no way." I hurriedly refused. "I'm sorry, Alex, I'll introduce you to someone else. But Betsy is really not an option." Alex sensed something was wrong. His sharp eyes stared at me. "Are you hiding something from me? How is that possible? We grew up wearing the same pair of pants. Cut the crap and tell me the truth." I downed a large glass of cocktail and whispered in his ear, "The thing is, I'm the one who caused Betsy to want to become a nun." Alex froze for 2 seconds, his brain foggy and his eyes blank. "What do you mean? Say something I can understand." My mouth was dry, and I took another sip of wine. "I am the legendary online lover of Miss Liu, the one who is now dead." Alex's pupils dilated. "What?" His mind was especially sharp at this moment. He connected the dots and came to a shocking conclusion. "Wu, your online girlfriend of 2.5 years is actually your stepsister." His voice was so loud that many people around us cast curious glances. Although Betsy and I are not biologically related, outsiders don't know that. For a moment, I felt like I wanted to crawl into a hole and disappear. I quickly covered his mouth. "Stop yelling. Do you want the whole world to know? Do you want to make me feel worse? I don't know if you're miserable or or not, but you're really something. Why didn't you tell me about such a big thing earlier? Half a month ago, when your offline meeting failed, I thought it was because the other party wasn't good looking. Alex had always known about my online relationship and my plan to meet offline, but I just vaguely said that the meeting failed and didn't elaborate. I thought so. How could you have such high standards? You just failed to meet offline, and then the news of Betsy's husband passing away came out. The Liu family couldn't openly say that their precious daughter was in an online relationship and then her online boyfriend died in a car accident, so they just vaguely said that her husband had passed away. As for when they started dating and got married, no one dug into it. What did you say to reject her back then? Alex asked. I said I was driving too fast and accidentally hit a plane on the highway. And Alex pressed. I also said, love you forever. I touched my nose guiltily. In fact, I was just out of my mind at the time. It was an emergency, and I wanted to give this relationship a perfect ending. It seems that I went a little overboard. Alex sighed. Woo, you're really ruthless. Do you know how lethal those 3 words are? Anytime, anywhere. I lowered my head. I know now. Alex gave me a meaningful look. No wonder you were reluctant to let me have her. I understand, you're very possessive. I quickly defended myself. That's not it. How could I give my girlfriend to my bro? Don't worry, I'll definitely find you someone better in the future. Alex waved his hand dismissively. That's not important right now. The important thing is, why did you reject her? I panicked when I saw it was her. My mom married her dad, and we're step-siblings now. How could I have known she was the one? How could I date her? I didn't dare to show my face at all. What's wrong with that? You two are not biologically related. It's legal for you to get married. Besides, you met online before your mom got married, right? I really don't want to be with her. Betsy is so outstanding. I used to giggle while holding my phone, forgetting that it was because of our online relationship. She is her, and Betsy is Betsy. I thought about it and shook my head firmly. I couldn't bring myself to associate Betsy with my clingy, baby-calling online girlfriend. It felt too strange. The contrast between the two was too great for me to accept for the time being. Besides, our online encounter was originally a prank. It all started with a game of truth or dare during my sophomore year. I drew a dare to pursue a friend for a month. I was being clever and chose to pursue an online gaming friend. I was playing a new mobile game at the time and was matched with a cold and quiet girl. After playing a few rounds with her, I decided to target her. I originally planned to explain the situation to her after a month, but I didn't expect her to be so easily pursued. She was often rendered speechless by my words. As I continued to pursue her, it actually became real. And I was also captivated by her later contrast. I was completely smitten by her calling me baby. That's how we secretly dated for 2.5 years. Besides, it was an online relationship. I wasn't serious at the time. I even made up a fake identity, a struggling worker with a difficult past, lonely at night, looking for someone to talk to, searching for a warm embrace in this lonely city. Alex was speechless. There were too many things wrong with my story. He didn't know where to start. But she didn't reveal her identity to you at first either. Since you can have an online persona, why can't she? And who would say they're a CEO right off the bat? That's true. Well, anyway, it's not entirely my fault. It takes 2 to tango. I was actually planning to come clean with her during this offline meeting, but then my online girlfriend turned out to be Betsy. I was scared. I didn't dare. If she knew that I was just playing with her feelings from the beginning, wouldn't she kick my whole family out? Besides, wouldn't it be awkward if our relationship was exposed? It's fine for us to maintain a fake sibling relationship at home. Alex rolled his eyes. You're just a coward. So what are you going to do next? To be honest, I plan to persuade her to turn back from the brink, to get over the sadness of online dating, and to go on blind dates. Alex clinked glasses with me. You're really something. I'm speechless. I finally poured out all the stress I had been bottling up inside. After 3 rounds of drinks, just as I was about to continue drinking with my best friend, I received a call from home. My mom's anxious voice came through the phone. Woo, your sister is gone. Where did you go?